That's a 55% increase. So, yep, this is an anomaly. This is never gonna happen ever again unless we have another pandemic. Hey, what's up? My name is Rishabh Savant. So, I'm not a financial advisor, but I like talking about stocks for entertainment purposes. After sitting on a fence for almost 2 months, I finally pulled the trigger on Corsair Gaming. Last Friday, I purchased Corsair at a cost basis of about $32 per share. This is where I bought the stock. This is where the crazy Reddit fueled run up happened, where it went from 31 about $32 all the way to $41 per share. This is what was stopping me from getting into the stock. I try to stay away from hype. And then as we gapped up here, remember gaps always fail. So as we gapped up here, it almost immediately, this gap almost immediately filled here. It always happens. I noticed this trend for many other stocks. Imagine those who got here. I mean, they can still dollar cost average by getting in here, but still, I don't think that these people are. I don't think these people still hold the stock. Most likely they sold for a loss, and that is quite a big loss. Previously, I made a fundamental analysis video about Corsair, and we went through the income statement, the balance sheet, and the cash flow statement, and we compared that to Logitech as well as Razer Inc. Today, let's look at the price to sales ratio and compare that to the S&P 500. The trailing 12 months price to sales ratio of Corsair Gaming is at 1.54, which means to say that the stock price of $32 is 1.54 times the earnings per share in the past 12 months. And the S&P 500 ratio, basically the top 500 companies on the US market, is 3.19 as of Friday 2nd of July. That's nearly twice that of Corsair. Besides the Reddit fueled frenzy, the other thing that stopped me from getting into this stock was the fact that it may not grow as much as it did last year and this year. So last year we had this huge influx of new people, new gamers, and people working from home buying like computer peripherals like keyboards, mouse, and headsets. So as we move forward, as more people get vaccinated, we will see a decline in the number of people playing games or working from home. But there's also reports about how work from home for many companies, especially the big companies, it could be the new norm even in the post-pandemic world. So we'll get into that just in a while, but my concern was basically the revenue growth. Let's look at the earnings estimate on Yahoo Finance. For the current quarter, we are expecting an EPS of about 39 cents, a low estimate of 31 cents, and a high estimate of 47 cents. Next quarter ending September 2021, the low estimate is 23 cents, high estimate of 41 cents, and an average estimate of 37 cents. For the current year, for the whole year, the low estimate is 1.75, $1.75, a high estimate of $1.92, and an average of $1.81. Next year, 2022, this was my concern. 8 analysts expect a high estimate of about $2.78, a low estimate of about $1.58, and an average EPS of about $2.01. Historically, over the past three quarters, Corsair Gaming has beat the analysts' expectation by quite a big margin. Here we have quarter ending September 2020. Estimated EPS was 28 cents, and the actual earnings were 54 cents per share, a difference of about 26 cents, resulting in a surprise of 92.9%. And this is what investors like. This is what causes the stock price to shoot up. Quarter ending December 2020, estimated EPS was 46 cents, actual was 53 cents, a difference of about 7 cents, delivering a surprise of 15.2%. And the first quarter of this year, we had an estimated EPS of about 33 cents, actual EPS of 58 cents, a difference of 25 cents, giving us a surprise of 75.8%. I have many friends who are gamers. In fact, my brother is a hardcore gamer. So I know for a fact that once you start playing games, you can't just stop playing games. Let's just put it that way. It's a very addictive activity. I was reading this article on Market Watch. Here we go. Global video game revenue is expected to surge 20% to 179.7 billion in 2020, according to IDC, making the video game industry a bigger moneymaker than the global movie and North American sports industries combined. The global film industry reached 100 billion in revenue for the first time in 2019, according to the Motion Picture Association, while PwC estimated North American sports would bring in more than 75 billion in 2020. Both of those industries suffered from the effects of COVID-19 pandemic in 2020. However, while the video game industry is expected to show double-digit growth this year following high single-digit growth in the previous 2 years. According to this report, this article is from 2020, December 2020. So in the previous 2 years, we saw a single-digit growth, a high single-digit growth, meaning to say perhaps like 8 or 9%. And during the pandemic year, we saw a double-digit growth, so meaning to say more than 10%. Let's look at how Corsair was growing before the pandemic and how it's growing now. Let's pull out the calculator. In 2019, Corsair made a revenue of about $1.1 billion versus in 2018 it was $937 million. Just take note that these numbers are all in thousands. So there's 1, 2, 3, 3 more zeros here. So that's a 17% increase from 2018 to 2019. This was pre-pandemic. Let's look at 2020 versus 2019. Zero nine seven one seven four. That's a 55% increase. So yep, this is an anomaly. This is never gonna happen ever again unless we have another pandemic, which is highly unlikely in the next, I don't know, maybe 100 years or so. I don't know what's the cycle for pandemics. Let's look at trailing 12 months, past 12 months versus 2020. 2, 3, 6, 7, 12%. Okay, so we are coming back to normality. 11% here, 55%, 12%, and maybe the next few years is going to be about the same, perhaps 10, 11, 12%, which is quite normal. Our calculations are in line with what the analysts expect this company to grow at. This year at 13.1%, next year 11%, and the next 5 years about 10.63%. It's also important to note that ever since going public in 2018, 2020 was the first year Corsair was able to make a profit. It was quite a big profit, so we have a report here, and they put the profit to good use. I found this on Esports Observer. Corsair reports 103 million profit for 2020, paid off 190 million in debt. In Corsair's first annual earnings report since its IPO in September 2020, the company revealed a 55.2% year-over-year increase in annual net revenues to 1.7 billion USD for the year 2020, while its quarterly revenues for the fourth quarter of 2020 increased by 70.4% to $556.3 million. In a release, Corsair's chief financial officer, Michael Porter, said that the company paid off an additional 50 million in debt during the fourth quarter, bringing the total debt repayment for 2020 to 190 million dollars. They are putting the profits generated during the pandemic year to good use by paying off their debts. Moving forward, this is one less thing to worry about. On Feb 1, 2021, Corsair was awarded over 4 million in patent infringement case with video game developer and publisher Valve, as a jury found that Valve infringed Corsair's subsidiary Ironburg's controller patent. If competitors are copying their controllers, chances are their controllers are really good. And this applies to all their products. I've seen many streamers and gamers use Corsair's equipment because they are really good and long lasting. Gamers, streamers, and content creators make up for most of Corsair's customers. But there's this whole set of other customers that I think Corsair can tap into, has tapped into, and this customer base is only going to grow. Work from home, according to many reports that I've read and which I personally experienced as well, work from home, I believe, is here to stay. Look at this article from Forbes. As the world slowly begins to reopen, companies are making decisions on what the post-pandemic workplace looks like. While some organizations are itching to bring their employees back into the office, others are opting for hybrid models or sticking with full-time remote work. Many of us who are working from home, it's gone from having like high-end suits and nice clothes to having nice keyboards and nice mouse and comfortable chairs to make this work from home experience even better and comfortable, and basically just being more productive. One last thing we're going to look at here before we end is the investor relations page on Corsair's website. 1.7 billion in net revenue for 2020, operating in 75 countries, 190 million gaming and streaming products shipped, 18.3% market share for peripherals, 41.9% for PC components, total addressable market of about 36 billion, and a market share position in the gaming space, number 1. So I think the stock price will drop further in the next coming weeks, and if it drops 10% below my cost basis, I will buy more. I'm planning to hold this for the next 3 to 5 years, about 2025 or so. So that's it. Thanks for watching and have a good day.